We are enjoying the first day of CPAC, and one of the speakers here is Kimberly Fletcher. She is the founder of Moms for America, an organization that is so needed in this country right now. And you have such a rich history, and I look forward to sharing a little bit of your story with our audience, but just the fact that you're the mother of 8 children.
Yeah, that seems to shock people. And the first thing they say is, you must be so patient. I'm like, no, having 8 children helps you learn patience.
Wow, and a military family at that.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how 9/11 helped trigger this journey that you have been on, that you have taken now to found one of the most amazing nonprofits in the country.
Well, I will say that I was always patriotic. My mom raised me to be patriotic, to pledge the flag, to do the parties, the picnics, the fireworks. But that's not the same thing as being a patriot. And 9/11 was that big wake-up moment for me. My husband was stationed at the Pentagon on 9/11. Through a series of miracles, he came home safe that day. And once he walked in the door, the first thing I did, of course, was drop to my knees and thank the Lord. And the next thing was just, I started asking a lot of questions. How did we get here? How did this happen? And that day was the day I went from being patriotic to being a patriot. Been on the front lines of freedom ever since. The next 3 years, from 2001 to 2004, I tell everybody I was in the tutelage of God, where he helped me understand, because I kept asking questions. And I read everything I could get my hands on. I read the Constitution of the United States for the first time in my life. I read the Declaration of Independence. I started to read stories of the founders, and I just was loving what I was reading, and it all led me to 2004 in that pivotal election year when I felt God calling me to start a national organization. I thought that was absolutely crazy. What do I know? I'm just a mom. But he qualifies who he calls, and we've grown this little fledgling organization of 26 women in a living room in Dayton, Ohio, to over 500,000 moms across the country.
If God is for it, he will support it.
Yes.
And he has done that, and I think that probably the most instrumental role that he's played with you in this position is the fact that we just got through with an administration that was trying to indoctrinate our children.
Hell.
Yeah.
4 years of hell. But you know what? That, as crazy as it sounds, was an incredible gift of God and a blessing. Because our founding fathers had hoped that we would learn from their experience and not have to experience it ourselves. But we've had 50 years of having our history and heritage stripped away from us in our schools and our classrooms. We're not teaching what America's about, why it is exceptional, why the whole world looks to us as a beacon of light. And now kids are being taught, and they have been, little bit by little bit, encroaching to hate their country, hate their neighbors, hate themselves now, and disenfranchised from their parents. And the last 4 years was us experiencing tyranny in real life. And I mean, we were seeing moms who they were being arrested in parks for having their children there playing during COVID. And you're looking at that going, this is not right. And the pushback is these moms going, no, you're not going to mess with my kids. It went from masking to forced vaccines to then suddenly going, wait a second, what are you teaching my children, when they were watching on the computers in their homes? And when I was growing up, my mom always told me, when someone tells you not to tell your mom, that's the first thing you do. So when you're sitting in your own living room and you're hearing the teacher tell your children, don't tell your parents that they're not supposed to look at the classroom, parents are first thing they're doing is going, wait, what did you just say? So it for 15 years, I was trying to convince parents of what was happening, and they looked at me like a helicopter parent with a tinfoil hat, and suddenly in 2020 they said, oh my gosh, this is really happening, and this movement of moms skyrocketed to measures that nobody could possibly imagine.
I'm a mom of a 5-year-old, and I was very concerned about him entering the public school system because of what I was very fearful of what he was going to be taught. Critical race theory, parental rights being stripped away from us.
The transgender nonsense. Yes. And we win that issue across the board. We did a one-question text survey in March of last year, and we only texted the survey to moms who had voted for Biden in 2020 and moms who are registered independents. And the one question we asked them was, do you support boys playing in girls' sports and sharing girls' locker rooms and bathrooms? 6-1 one, the answer was no.
Wow.
And these were moms in Democrat communities, Hispanic, Black communities that had historically voted against their values that were suddenly given an opportunity to say, no, we don't agree with that, and they voted differently. So we win when the crazy gets crazier. The moms are going to push back more, and motherhood is the great unifier. So we're going to stand and protect our children to whatever lengths we have to go to do that within the legal bounds of the law.
They're so precious. They're so vulnerable. And, I would ask you what your message is to President Donald J. Trump, because he has stepped in. He has given parents their rights back. He's looking out for our kids. But to have a leader like him to support your cause, your movement, how does that feel?
I just say thank you. We worked our tails off. I'm sorry, I get a little teary.
No, it's okay. It's understandable.
I am so grateful to have him in the White House. We worked our literal tails off for 2 years, and we did everything that we possibly could. We reached out to moms. We convinced them to vote. We registered moms. We turned them from one party to another. And it really wasn't about the party. It was about the principle and the message and the man who was going to be pushing those principles. And when you give a nonpartisan voter guide to a mom and you say, here's the candidates, here's where they stand on the issues that matter to you, it's a no-brainer. Moms are going to protect their kids because all moms care about the same 3 things. First and foremost, the safety and protection of your children. Second, you want them to get a good education. And third, opportunities to succeed. All of those things have been taken away from us by the communist takeover Democrat Party and this movement to pull America away from freedom and towards socialism, communism, and absolute tyranny. We almost lost everything in this last election, and there are still too many people who don't realize how close we came to literally losing everything. So I thank God every day that it was in 2023, I was gone 300 days away from my family. In 24, 264. And it was worth every minute because now I can be with my family and know that we're in a much better path and my children are going to be safe.
And I thank you for the time that you devoted, because for moms like me, you've done so much. And I know that my son is going to have a brighter future because of the work that you dedicated. And so thank you.
You're welcome.
God bless you. You are a wonderful woman.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank President Trump. Now we want all those nominations to be confirmed, and we want everything to keep pushing forward. And he does have the absolute authority in the Constitution to do everything that he's doing.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.